Alright guys, so welcome back. It's been a while since I actually sat down and made a video like this where I talk to you guys about a particular topic. The one thing that I did want to really talk about that really means a lot to me that I didn't get to really explain when I was installing it is these 3 quotes on the car. Now a lot of people tell me like, hey Mohammed, your car probably looks a lot better if you take it off. Well, number 1, I don't care. Number 2, I don't care. And number 3, there's a reason why they're there. I feel like I'm truly blessed, especially in this life. Like, it's ridiculous how my life has, flipped around in many different aspects. More personal to say than car related. Maybe later on down the line, I might speak about it. But, I just thank God every day that I'm breathing. I'm blessed to have, a car under my feet I could call my own, all that. So my process with cars was kind of funny. So yeah, my process with cars was really kind of funny. Let's start. So the first thing that you would see is #preserve the past. And boy, I wouldn't say my past is unique to a way where you guys might seem like, oh, you really went through it. I didn't. I'm a very blessed kid. I did not have that many struggles at all in life. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you at all. But within the car life and the car scene, I feel like there was different aspects that, I feel like I struggled to a point. And, it meant a lot to me when I gradually stepped up each time. I wish I could have my boy here so I could actually talk to you. Well, he could actually tell you guys too. My first car was a 2008 Mazda NA3, okay, the hatchback, and it was an amazing car for a first car. I loved it to death, but there was some quirks. So like I said, I love the Mazda. The thing was, as I got my car and I started hanging around my friends, I realized, they're into cars too. As we got older, I got introduced into the car community. And when I took my car to my first ever car meet, everyone goes down this route where they take a trip or stroll down AutoZone's accessory aisle. And I was doing that. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I had like a pinstripe on it, and at one point, I will never forget this. I was gonna get red wipers, windshield wipers for my car. They were like plastic red windshield wipers, and I took it to the desk because my car was gray black and like had red lug nuts on it. And the lady at the desk was like, "What are you doing? Don't ruin your car." And at that time, I realized, yo, I'm a racer. So I love that car. Like I said, that was the first car I took to meets. It wasn't any car. I was pushing like 150 horsepower, if that, in an automatic transmission. I remember days when me and my friend Tyler would actually go to a car meet, and I didn't, I had a little muffler delete on it, but it still didn't make a sound. So I remember days where I actually took the car in the cold. This was like in the middle of December or something, and the car wasn't loud, so we had puffy jackets on and everything, and I would have to turn on the AC rolling into a car, like a car meet or something like that, just to get that little extra grumble out of the car itself, which was crazy because I would have to put the windows down, put the extra grumble on, and then it would tell me like, yo, it might be time, Mohammed. It was crazy. So let me tell you, let me explain exactly what I mean by that. So the extra grumble, like I said, the AC turns on, little extra grumble. I used to put my window down because it was hotter outside. It was still like 40, 20, like 30, between 20 and 40 degrees. I was wearing a puffy jacket, but I put the window down because I was blasting the AC inside the car. So it was even colder inside than it would have been outside, but I needed that extra grumble. So past that, once I realized like, hey, I'm getting more into this car thing now, And I was never a person that went out and partied or smoked, drank, anything like that. I don't do that stuff. It's just not me. So I had a lot of money not a lot of money at that time, but I had money to put aside and like gradually save up. So my second car, it was a 2008 Mazda Speed 3. I absolutely love this car. It was my first manual car. When I bought it fully bolted, which was a complete mistake. Don't ever do that. Don't buy a used condom ever in your life. But I did that and I regret it now. Anywho, keep moving. This car was fully bolted, had a stage 2 clutch. My first manual car had a stage 2 clutch. Worst mistake of my life right there though. Thank God my father really knew how to like drive manual cars and stuff. He taught me. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and tell you that I was the most excited person in the world when I first drove that car. First night I drove it, I remember coming back in the house, putting my head on the table, and my father and my mother were like, don't do it, don't buy this car, but I'm young, I was gonna do it anyways. I bought the car, and I put my head on the table, and Mom was like, what's wrong, you look like a ghost. I was like, Mom, I made the worst mistake of my life. They both started laughing at me, and my father was like, don't worry, you're gonna get it. What happened after that was this. Like I said, I loved the car, didn't really know how to drive it. I got used to driving it. This was my first turbo car. Fell in love with it. I don't know if it was because it was my fastest car I ever drove, which it wasn't really that, it wasn't that fast. I think it was only like maybe 314. The person before me that had it had a dyno tune. Again, I was not very used to these situations. Like, I didn't know what to do, how to say things in aspect to like, what do I do with a turbo car? Oh, I think I got you guys on top of a nest of wasps. And yeah, you saw that one? Yeah, okay. Love the car, it was light. You could really feel it. I really scared a lot of people and my friends and my family in that car. That car was scary because it was so light, front wheel drive, it kept pulling. But there was something wrong with it, as I don't know if a lot of people know, Mazdas, they have great engines. They do have not. Yo, let me whoa! Let me just grab you guys because we're not doing that. Okay, so now that we're away from the wasp, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like right there. That's it right there. But anywho, now this is crazy because we've been talking about Preserve the Past for the longest. Let me speed this up a little. After that, I got a Mustang EcoBoost. That was a complete impulse buy. I didn't have a car after I sold them the Mazda for about 4 weeks. I needed a car. I told my parents, like, listen, I wanted to go get a Genesis Coupe at first, but I decided, well, they kind of convinced me to go buy a new car so I wouldn't have any issues. The EcoBoost was great, fully bolted, had it on an E30 mix, as you guys saw in the other videos. I spun a bearing in it, and like a lot of people say, it's an economical car. When I did, stupid shit in it, stupid shit's bound to happen. So, what can I say? But I do not still take away from the fact that the EcoBoost engines are very weak. And when I say that, I mean the internals are not forged. They're, I'm not a mechanic, but again, you get the gist. And now the next one is educate the present. So when I say educate the present, I'm actually talking about like the whole aspect of knowing things, telling people about it. A lot of people might say that when you do, or this as well, when you do something and everyone in the world tells you don't do it, but you end up doing it and it becomes like such a great idea anyway, that's another thing right there. Which is really cool. So when I talk about that, for an example, was when I did the EcoBoost spots all over the car. Everyone said it looked like a cow, but I said I loved it. It made the car unique. Everyone liked it when they saw it from far away, because when you came up close, it looked kind of rugged. But again, educate the present. Like, don't hold anything away from other people. Let them know too. Share your greatness. Don't let it just be, you know, if mankind was only going to suppress its knowledge to itself, then we wouldn't be in the world that we are in today. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me, it might not make sense to you, but hey, it is what it is. We got you back on the wasp nest. They're pretty much gone, so they might be sleeping, who knows? We're gonna get this out of the way. The last one is, what is it? Oh, inspire the future. Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks for itself. You don't want to do the same exact things over and over and over again. Like, how many times are you gonna do wide body? How many times are you gonna bag a car? How many times are you gonna, you know, I don't know, like you get the gist of it. Your car will never be your car until you put your own spice on it. And I'm not saying, yo, these wasps are crazy. I'm not saying don't do these things. I would love to bag my car. I would love to wide body my car. I just don't got the funds for it, so that's just me. And I'm not saying this to hate on anyone that does it. I love these cars. I think my car would look a lot better if it was wide body. But again, I can't afford it. But what I'm trying to get at is inspire the future. Change what you do. If you want to put spots on your car, put spots on your car. If you want to put a big wing on a Mustang GT, by all means, go do it. Who says you have to drift to do that? Who says you have to do anything that needs a wing? Like, just do it. This is your car. Unless someone comes up to you and tells you, well, unless the bank owns it, I mean, we shouldn't be modding the bank's car anyway, but no one can tell you anything. At the end of the day, you're supposed to make your car you. And that's what Inspire the Future means. These 3 stickers on the side of the car might look hideous to everyone in the world, but that's my story behind these 3. Again, thanks again with me as I ruin my car to achieve my dreams. Thanks again.
I wanna die too young, yeah, too young, yeah, too young. I don't